Hi, folks. I am David S. He, him pronouns, and this is session two of our haunt being run on the Open Hearth Gaming Calendar. Um, we've got a crew of three for this session. We've got me, Stephen, Sabine. Sabine, you are playing the Mirage, or you're playing the Faceless, but you're called the Mirage, or just Mirage. Let's go ahead and do the opening kind of start of game questions from the book. I added this to the character keeper in between sessions just so people can reference it during play. There is a tab on the character keeper that just says flow of play. And I just copy pasted the kind of things that we do at the beginning of each session, at the beginning of each scene, and then at the end of each session. So to start with, at the beginning of the game, we ask who of us wants to focus on the story of their character or their room of our haunt. Um, I mean, for my part, I feel like I got a little bit of spotlight last time, so I'm okay being more of a background character. However, I would love to get a chance to get really scary and flesh out my basement a little bit during this session. If we can put a scene in the basement, I'd like to see just how it goes. Um, Sabine or Steven, do you guys have any wishes for the session in terms of focusing on your characters or on your rooms?
Oh, for now, I'm more curious about my character than about my room, but
I'd also love to see Mirage. I'm fine being supporting characters. I'm also fine with the witch being a supporting character in a Mirage scene. I feel like at this point Mirage needs a lot of help. Like I said, Mirage needs to be taught how to hurt people.
yes. Okay,
So,
sure.
It's an important life skill, Mirage, or unlife skill.
Huh.
so
Okay. I I guess yes, you're probably right.
I'm also okay with voicing supporting characters as needed. And I guess I'd like to see some more supporting characters just because we have a lot of references to them in our bonds and just elsewhere in the rooms section, but we haven't actually seen very many of them to put them on the NPCs tab. So supporting characters are good. And then that kicks us over to the start of the scene. So let's get one going here. We ask who is in the scene, where's it taking place, who else is in the scene, and maybe what's the scene kind of about. Um, I will volunteer Mirage to be in the scene. Does that sound good to you?
Thank you. Yes, I'm 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 very as a player, I'm very happy to be volunteered. Mirage themselves might be a little of a different opinion, but they're a player character. Sorry, buddy.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Um,
I can also be in the scene since it says 2 to 3.
okay.
Yeah, I would
Um,
love to have a scene with the witch. I'd be taught how to hurt people.
If we are putting both of you in the scene, then I will be happy to guide it. Where's the scene taking place? By default, it would go in the basement, and I kind of want it to take place in the basement. But if there's a strong preference for a different room, I can take that too.
I
But
think this basement might be perfect for this scene.
yeah, so we're gonna start off with a basement scene with a betrayed and a faceless. Very cool. And then let's maybe set the scene a little bit further here. What's this scene about? Did the witch kind of like drag the faceless or Mirage down here, like to give them a lesson or something? Or are they looking for something together, rummaging through the trunks and chests, or what
Forget
do
what
people
was the
think?
something else that you had picked? Is that something you picked or is that just what you left there?
Oh, on the rooms, the something else that truly scares
Yeah.
us. So I selected that one, although we didn't really flesh out what it is.
Okay.
I was thinking that it could be fear itself, like the literal personification of fear lives in this basement. But that was one idea. It's kind of whatever people are thinking of.
Hmm.
Did you have an idea, Stephen?
No, I was just curious because I saw it was picked and I didn't know what if you had something in mind there.
Oh, gotcha. Um, yeah, so I was thinking of putting the personification of fear literally in the basement. But then that gives us two different entities in the basement. One is fear, the other is a different unseen entity. So if I'm gonna do fear and really lean into that, um, I wonder if I should maybe switch to a different unsolvable problem. I'm gonna say portals to another time and place, blink open and close, but I'm gonna combine that with the aesthetic of the painted door that usually opens up to nowhere but sometimes doesn't. We'll say that that is the portal to another time and place.
That's very cool. I like that.
So, let's talk a little bit about why we're in the basement.
Um, I might have just gone exploring, wafting around, looking at things, and maybe I've been kind of running from the witch, like not really fleeing in terror, but just like trying to stay out of her way. And maybe she caught me out down in the basement. Is that does that work for you, Stephen?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm teaching Mirage,
Yeah,
obviously.
obviously you are. Yes.
Like the room as you enter is, and I'm just straight up going straight to a neutral move here, because I can fill the room with shadows and soft sounds. Uh, I think that that's what we hear right now, that as you come into the basement, everything is covered in like even more shadows than usual. And there are whispering sounds. You know, you think it sounds almost like the whisperings of little rats in the walls, asking who you want to hurt, why you're so afraid.
I think Mirage will stare into nothing and become even more scared because that's the neutral move, stare into nothing and see the unseen, and that is in that case probably not super pleasant to see these unseen revenge rats, I guess. Um, and then I think they will move, and you can't really see them precisely, but you can tell when they're near because of the cold spots and because of these light refractions, like they from a mask maybe or something. And they will come closer and say, why do you always want to hurt something? Does that really make you happy? Is that how you get to be someone?
I'm wondering, Mirage. Um, we talk about like as a ghost, like we're all like
Mm-hmm.
kind of ephemeral to the living to some degree,
Mm,
I think.
yeah,
Well, except maybe the doll. The doll is straight
yeah,
up an actual doll as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, if I were to reach out and touch where you are, would I feel anything? I guess the cold breeze and touch of ice. Would I feel anything beyond that?
Only if I make the effort,
Okay.
because that's one of my ghostly powers here to take the form of any being I can see. I'm not really, I don't really have a form. I'm a softest shadow. No. No, you can feel the cold.
Hmm.
And maybe like almost the shards of ice or something.
I reach out a hand and it brushes through the chill. And I think that I almost want to say there is like you can feel I feel the chill and you feel the heat from my hand as it passes through you.
And you can feel the cold almost getting a little more intense when you reach out to touch, as if Mirage is trying to touch you as, themselves, but that's the most they can do. Maybe even one of these shards of ice gives you a little scratch
Hmm.
because they are rather desperate actually to feel this, to connect to somebody.
It's not that I want to hurt Mirage. It's that I know there is no other truth for us. I see you. I see how little there's left of you, and I want to pull you back. The
I want
hand kind of is almost feels like it's trying to grasp at you, but can't.
I would like for you to be able to drag me back, but I'm afraid actually that I might hurt you, and I don't think that's what you have in mind.
I'll jump in here and say that as you sort of utter those words, the shadows in the room begin to deepen even further. Some of them become sort of grotesquely elongated, almost in sort of this like German expressionist kind of way. These big, dramatic, grotesque shadows kind of creeping across. And there's this sense of palpable unease and fear that settles over the room. Um, I'm gonna use a move here as the basement, and I'll ask Mirage, if you accept, you don't have to, but if you do,
Mhm.
can you honestly describe what scares you here?
Yeah, what scares me most is, I think what scares me most is that I actually that hurting someone is actually something I'm really good at. That scares me. That scares me more than anything.
Okay, you can take a token for that.
Any token. Can I maybe hide the thingies here that are not in play?
Yeah, feel
Because
free if they're getting in the way.
because because I'm constantly looking, huh? Who am I? Who's my character? So there's a lot here. Okay. No, I want to hide them. I can't. Sorry. No, I'll have sorry, what was the question here?
Oh, I just was asking, for a token, you can name something that um, honestly describe what scares you. It sounds
I've
like,
done so.
yep, and so you take a token,
Yeah.
and
Ian.
then yeah, I'm on the character keeper trying to hide these columns too. They're so close together that it's very hard
Yeah. Mhm.
uh to do it.
There we go.
Um,
I zoom in.
oh, thank you,
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you.
great.
Cool.
But the returned is like the other player
Yep.
characters. So let's
Yes, I
leave
know,
them.
I know. I wouldn't have hit them. I wouldn't
Okay,
was
I was
trying.
just letting us know so that
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
we can hide the loved too.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
there we
loved.
go.
Great, thank you.
Oh, but the idea of zooming out is great because these are very tiny letters. Also old. The notes on the faces, these are Kim's notes, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Then I will delete that because I'll make some other stuff. Put some other stuff. Yes, okay. So that's what I'm afraid of. Yes. Mhm. And I've
Okay.
said that much to the witch that I didn't want to hurt her.
Oh boy. In that case, I Mirage. look at me.
Yes, I am looking at you.
And you can see like my skin is blackened and burned. My hair's charred. My fingers leave bloody streaks. Do I look like someone that can be hurt more than I have, that can be hurt any?
You are.
And I'm giving myself a token since I'm asking you to see my true face.
Nice.
You still. You are still a person. You can still be hurt, which I know you don't want to. Neither do I. But as long as you have anything like any hope, you can still be hurt. Don't tell me you don't have hope. You at least have the hope of hurting the people who hurt you. Right?
Oh yeah, I'm not okay with that. As you say that, like my body starts to elongate. My fingers turn into shadowy claws that grasp tightly at that cold. And that heat turns from something warm into something fiery and hot. I'm using a ghostly ability with great consequence, which is to twist myself into horrifying, menacing shapes.
Hmm. Cool.
And that's one of your vulnerable moves, so I think
Yep,
I get to determine what this great consequence looks like. Okay.
Hmm.
And are you doing this out of anger or
I'm
what
doing it out
is
of anger. I'm doing it to prove Mirage wrong. She says I'm still a person. I'm not a person. I'm the witch, obviously.
Hmm. Okay.
got it? And the ability you're using is to twist yourself into horrifying, menacing shapes. Um, okay. So I have an idea, but I want to start by seeing Mirage. How do you react to this?
Huh. I think I'm reacting to this with fear, with moving, trying to move away from the heat, from this thing that the witch has become, and I will. What will I do? Let me see here. Yeah, I will walk back and I will say I apologize. I have I have a tendency to overstep and to speak things that people don't want to hear. I've done so before. I remember that much. It is. It was not. I did not intend to anger you. I never intended to anger anyone. And I think this is me admitting to a secret shame that I've done that before. Not that don't want to anger people, but that I have angered people before. Is that okay as a vulnerable move?
That works for me.
Cool. Also, I
Um,
think I've put my token on somebody else's thingy. Oh well.
I know I don't have any tokens, so I'm good.
I might have put it on Sienna. I'm not sure. Or on one of those we hid. I'm just yeah.
No, you're good. Sienna finished last session with one
Yeah,
token.
okay. Then yeah, well, cool.
So, I have an idea here.
Mhm.
Tell me what you think about this witch. So you've used this move where you're beginning to extend outward in this kind of grotesque, twisted sort of way. I'm gonna say that the whole room is filled with this violent anger. Like it's not contained just to you. And the way that this manifests is the camera suddenly pans sharp and quick to an old trunk, kind of stashed somewhere in the corner of the room. And as the you see these kind of like finger-like shadows extend over the trunk from off frame, they sort of clamp down onto the trunk and tear the lid open, so it swings open. And inside this trunk are a whole bunch of broken, disassembled doll parts. And they're going to begin to assemble themselves into sort of these um, twisted, malformed dolls, and it's like the arms, these legs don't go with this body and that head doesn't go with this body, and they look very mismatched, like someone had pulled apart a bunch of dolls and stuck them back together in random arrangements. And they're going to begin to sort of like climb and crawl out of the trunk, and you hear them whisper as their little doll hands sort of clatter and creep along the concrete floor. They start whispering to Mirage. I think they're going to say, "Fight back, fight back, fight back." And they're encouraging this sort of violence in you that you described before kind of frightens you. And so you have these dolls kind of creeping towards the both of you, half of them kind of stalking along on all fours. They got three arms and one leg, that kind of thing. And that's going to be, I think, the great consequence of this move that you did, Witch. Ooh,
Huh.
actually, I'm going to go one step further with this.
Hmm.
The way that you hear them whisper is through this old radio. I'm using one of the room moves. I can
Yeah.
turn on an old radio, and I can ask someone to act along with what the radio plays, and anyone else who does the same gains a token too. So the radio is hissing and whispering at you, fight back, and if you do, you get a token.
Back. That is so. I don't even have the ghostly abilities to fight back, so that's fine. I think what Mirage will do is they will lose their form. They will not fight back. They will lose their form. They will become an object for now. And I think what they will become is a fractured mirror on one of the walls that is covered with rime, so you can only see um, occasional glimpses of people. The witch. You probably can't even see the dolls because they're on the floor and the mirrors on the wall. So I won't get the token, but I will just hide right now. This is a little too much for Mirage. They're going to hang on the wall and be a mirror for now. So that seems like a great idea.
I scratch in your surface and yowl, with kind of an animal uh tone. Leaving behind a bloody handprint, but that's it.
Mhm.
Shall we end the scene there?
Yeah.
I like the idea of the camera hanging on this like just framed shot of Mirage is this darkened mirror with that bloody handprint on it. That's a cool image.
I like that. Yes. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Um, so that takes care of that scene. Um, what do we want to do next?
Hmm.
I would want to see one of the NPCs, right? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe
that
we
could
can
be a
do
good idea.
something with either the runaway or a psychic who seeks the doll's wisdom. That could be funny. Or maybe the living man who sings a broken song.
Hmm.
But I find myself intrigued by the psychic moves, but totally
Yeah.
fine with anything
Did we
else.
determine that the psychic is Abigail? I'm trying to remember from last time.
Oh,
I thought that the psychic was the fortune
oh,
teller associated with the last
oh.
um like there was a fortune teller that's on
Mm, mhm. Yeah,
the
I've seen that.
faceless.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It could be Abigail if we want to make it
Mm,
that.
I'm fine either way. I was just trying to remember if we had determined already who that psychic is.
Yeah, we could do another scene with Abigail.
mhm,
Okay. Um, yeah. So maybe it's it could be immediately after this scene, like
mhm,
there could be a knock at the door suddenly, and then like Abigail is there, or it could be like totally later on in the evening or on a different evening altogether. But maybe Abigail has arrived for one reason or another. Maybe she's looking for something in the house, and she needs the doll's wisdom in
mhm.
order to find it, something like that, maybe.
So where do we want to set the scene? And
I was gonna say it sounds like the parlor might make sense here.
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's do parlor.
Okay, so that's my room. I should read what I should read the moves that I get.
I was thinking because I see it like take on airs and play the part of a gracious host.
Hmm? Where is the? Sorry.
Uh, it's
Oh yeah, I see it. I see
yeah.
it. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
You also have like each in this game. Yeah, there are also those
Hmm?
special moves, but like one per session.
Where is the special? Is this one?
They're like under the main
Yeah, I
moves. They're
found
like
them.
yeah,
Oh, oh, I love the special moves. Thank you. I knew there were a lot of moving parts. I'm sorry, I haven't read all of this. I've have read all of this before, but not so that I've at my fingertips.
yeah.
Ooh, ooh, the trickster. Mhm.
So, Stephen, if well, I guess it could be either one of you. I was wondering who's going to play the part of Abigail in this scene.
I mean,
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit weird because like the flow of play here says 2 to 3 main characters, but
mhm.
with three of us, that means one person. So I mean, it could be Sabine if you want. You could play Abigail, or one of us could be Abigail. Me, probably me, since
Yeah,
uh
I can play the partner. That's fine. I mean, that's and then you can play Abigail, Stephen, and you
yeah.
can play Autumn, David.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah,
So at the outset of the scene, it has there been like a knock at the door, and Abigail is trying to be admitted so that she can look for something, or do we just hard start like in the parlor?
let's start in the parlor. Abigail's
Yeah.
in the parlor. The parlor is well, it's kind of the first place you go to anyway, besides the yeah. It's a little stuffy. There was a lot of furniture in this room, but it's all faded and everything looks a little broken. There are a lot of knickknacks in this room. There's this old piano that kind of almost, if you, I mean, for the doll, you know this piano, that the piano really wants to be played, but for now there's a mortal person here, so the piano will um, make their best effort to look like something that you should play. However, they're doing that probably by clattering a little with the lid that on the top of the piano, and maybe shaking a little so that the knickknack somebody had put on it will give a little tinkle. Something just, yeah, there's this weird for Abigail. There's this weird ass piano that seems to be possessed by a ghost or something.
Yeah. I also want to say that the witch is like glowering in the fireplace because the other ghosts made me promise not to murder guests.
Is there actually a fire like in the hearth and you're like in the fire, or are you like sitting in this cold, vacant fireplace?
I'm sitting in like a cold, vacant fireplace that like there's like an occasional like glowering of something that looks like embers, but is the witch.
Not that.
So I think maybe there are these little curio cabinets in the parlor, and
Mhm.
Abigail is sort of trying to see through them because the glass in them is very, very cloudy and it's hard to really see what's inside. But if you open it, there's a good chance that it's sort of either not necessarily locked, but just so old that you kind of have to pull on it to get it to pop open, and you're likely to damage something inside if you do. So she's trying to look through all these cabinets and find something. We haven't determined what it is yet. Um, but I will at least say to her, um, don't get pay the witch no mind. They don't plan to hurt you. Um, are you finding what you're looking for? And I'm just a little 1 foot tall thing, kind of looking up at her with these vacant eyes that kind of blink open
There's a
and
whispering
close.
of the fireplace when you say that because I say I plan, I just have been denied. And I'm not at all saying it like a moody teen. But that is the I in my mind I'm not all saying it like a moody teen, but that is how it comes across.
Awesome.
But yeah, so what
And
were you saying, David? Sorry.
and the skull over there will say there has been somebody murdered here before. No,
Mm.
They weren't a guest.
it was a guest. It wasn't by you. And I'm not gonna tell you who it was. Never gonna tell you. Skull keeps clattering, hoping to be
Hmm.
asked for more. You know this. The skull tells all kinds of stuff. Um, yeah, I think for now, I would like for you, and this is Autumn, to reveal something beautiful besides the witch in the hearth.
Oh, okay. Is this, I guess we can kind of interpret this however we choose. When you say reveal something beautiful, do you mean something about my character that is beautiful, or something beautiful about the scene, or do you have a preference there?
I think maybe something beautiful in the room or something beautiful about yourself. I mean, you know this room, Abigail doesn't.
Well, you are
Oh.
looking through curios, so
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no,
yeah, exactly.
I think I've got an idea. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe, um, maybe there's something that because Abigail's a fortune teller, so maybe kind of tucked away in one of these little curio cabinets, there is this particularly gorgeous, like crystal ball
Mhm.
that is, just unusually pristine and not dusty and just seemingly unmarred by the endless march of time. Just very
Mhm.
beautiful crystal ball surrounded by all these dusty, broken fragments of things. Does that work?
Sure. You can take your
mhm.
token.
Great, got it. And I look at Abigail. Is that what you wanted? And I kind of stick a stiff arm out, gesturing to the ball.
I think Abigail reaches out uneasily and says, "It might be." And her fingers trace over the ball. And I'm wondering, for the parlor, what does she see in it?
Oh, and I think what she sees is the parlor. It is probably some people playing a game of chance. It's probably something to do with truth or dare, something like that.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool because that could hook into my backstory in so many ways.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think Abigail will see who that is. Probably some teenagers because who plays Truth or Dare when they're a grown up, right?
I think she looks then to you, Autumn, and says, Truth or dare?
Ooh boy. Ooh boy. I'm gonna say dare.
Oh. Now I can't get tokens for this, but I feel like I might as well play into your lure.
Yeah.
She says, I think almost like more of a sense, like she feels the pull of the room and the witch flickering in her fireplace bursts a little more into actual flame. Sing me a song.
I think you can get a token for that, right?
I mean,
Uh,
no, I
I'm
don't think
playing an
so.
NPC.
Yeah.
Th there are rules for that somewhere in the PDF.
Oh, okay.
I'll find them during the
Okay.
break, but I think you
Okay.
might someone might be able to get a token for that. It might be
Oh,
Sabine who gets the token actually. 'Cause
all
I'll
right.
look, but there is a
Yeah.
token pulled somewhere off of that. So
I think
you, sorry,
the
go ahead.
piano will clatter suggestively at that request.
Oh boy. Okay. So I have to sing a song now because I said dare. But that's okay because I have um let's see, I have a ghostly ability to sing a song that creates one of three emotions, either fear, calm, or anger. Um I'm gonna do it. I am going to I'm going to sing a song that creates anger, if that
Oh.
sounds good to the witch. And I'm gonna use that ability with great consequence to get me up to two tokens.
Ooh.
So Sabine, you get to determine what the great consequence is. But I think I look at you, witch, and you can see sort of this like behind my blank, lifeless eyes, you can tell that I've almost accepted this as though it's a challenge of sorts. Um, and I begin to sing, um, sort of like a schoolyard chant, like you might sing if you were jumping rope or something like that. And it's kind of like a playfully teasing song that kind of makes fun of you a little bit. Like I'm teasing you, not like I'm deliberately trying to insult you or bully you or anything like that. But just kind of like a teasing little poking fun at you, little tune that kind of implies that you take yourself a little bit too seriously and that kind of thing. How does that sound?
Great. I think the room will be not the room will get into the spirit of things and reflect all that anger back at you and probably at poor Abigail too. Especially the piano will start self-play because nobody's playing it. The piano is not happy. And as I said, the piano is not doesn't sound very good. And when they try to evoke anger or play that little ditty that you were going, it's kind of off key and just screechy. The skull is like, oh, you don't want my secrets. I know so many secrets. I know all the secrets in this house. I will tell them. I will start with your secrets and your secrets and your secrets too. Your blouse is super ugly because you have no fashion sense. This is directed at Abigail. And the curious will also, everything will start rattling. That whole room will break out in things that will vent their anger. And I would like to know what is the witch doing when that happens.
Um,
Because I feel that might evoke something for her, right?
Yeah, I was just looking here. I think I think that I those screaming, the noise, it's too much. And I think there is from the fireplace, it bursts into a bright white light and of flames, and there's a screaming, "Get out, get out, get out!" And like a wave of heat comes off from the fireplace because I am experiencing an incoherent flashback of pain.
Oh, that's one of your token moves.
Yeah.
Cool. That's okay. So what's Abigail doing when all of this is going on? I don't know if she actually understands. She probably understands. She's psychic. She understands what the skull's saying to her, and that this might be not a good place to listen to a song about. Or maybe she gets angry.
I will say just really quick for my part, I've stopped singing, but I like to
Yeah.
imagine the disp like
Yes.
I realized, oh, that got way out of hand, so I quickly stopped singing, but now the room is
I
still,
think,
shaking and angry.
The piano is
yeah,
still playing the ditty.
I almost want to say here, I want to, because I feel like
Mhm.
I want to pull one more thing here.
Mhm.
I think she
Okay.
holds the crystal ball closely to
Mhm.
herself now, almost
Oh.
protectively.
Mhm.
And she looks to you, Autumn, and she says, "You haven't taken your turn."
You want me to look now, with all of this going on?
I pick truth.
Uh, uh, oh, okay, and I kind of like place my still cold porcelain hand on the.
Oh, she was inviting you to ask a question if you wanted.
Oh, my mistake. Okay. So yeah, retcon that.
Because, yeah,
Well, I was gonna ask. I think this is where I can get a token and ask. Can you tell me about one of your memories? Can I zero in on it a little bit more and ask about what you saw in the crystal ball, Abigail? Or assuming that's a
I
memory. If
think,
it's not a memory,
yeah,
then it doesn't count.
I can build off that. Hmm. I think she says, "I remember a game of Truth or Dare, just like this one, played just in this room. It was a game that we thought was just for fun, but in the way that kids always do. The games we think are just for fun can sometimes be the cruelest games."
And I wonder if does that maybe that stirs something in me, and I can't quite pin down what, but maybe there's a flash of recognition in that.
If you, because she is seeking wisdom. I do think she says to you, if you felt you needed forgiveness for something, if there is something someone you had hurt, how would you do that?
Uh, and I
The
think
witch
I've
is saying, no,
yeah.
no forgiveness.
Right. I think Autumn misunderstands the question just a little bit and is like, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't deserve anything. I don't need forgiveness. I didn't do anything. And I get kind of defensive sort of as part of my what I yearn for a bit from my character is I want to prove I didn't deserve his punishment. So I get straight to being defensive and saying, well, why are you asking me that question? I don't need forgiveness.
Maybe you can offer it.
Um, offer forgiveness. Like telling someone it's okay. I guess I would show them that I choose to trust them again, even if maybe once I didn't. That's an act of forgiveness, right? Trust.
She nods like she understands something that you're not quite picking up on. All right, trust. And I think maybe are we cool ending the scene there?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
was going to
yeah.
suggest that.
Let's
Yes.
end it there. And do we want to take a quick break because we're right at the halfway point?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Are people okay with coming back around quarter past, about 15?
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
Okay. See everyone in just
Cool.
a little bit. Okay. Well, I'd like to get at least maybe a couple more scenes in before we wrap things up. So, let's get another one going here. So for the next scene, um, I guess I'll just ask Steven, would you like to guide this one? Just because me and Sabine have already gotten a chance to once this session. So you're first up if you'd like to
Sure.
do this. Yeah. Um. And I would like to see if we can get maybe just one new NPC. Um,
Totally, totally. That's gonna be an NPC. Um,
maybe I wonder if one of Mirage's NPCs could be um someone we could pull out here. So we have a
I
shadowy being, a living man.
can see if we have. mm, No, I think we could use the living man maybe.
Okay. Now it's your bond, so is there any
Mhm.
do you have any details connected to who that person is or how you envision them?
Sure, I can give you a character that I've played before. So I have lots of characters I can just pull in. So I think the person who this is someone who is a homeless person, and they are not entirely well mentally super stable or something or anything. They can see kind of ghosts and devils and things, and that plagues them. Um, yeah, and whenever they perceive that Mirage is near, that triggers something in them, and they always react to things and will sing songs about the supernatural. But with Mirage, the songs are especially strange and broken because of the way Mirage is. They cannot actually grasp or he, that's a he, is a living man, so it's a he cannot actually grasp this song, and I think that bugs him a little because usually he can find somebody's song, right? But he can't find Mirage's. That is strange, but also interesting to him.
How does that song make you feel, Mirage?
I think it makes Mirage feel kind of seen because while this is very broken and uneven and things, but so is Mirage, and this is somebody who tries, right? Who tries to figure out who they are. And maybe if the song at one point can become a real full song, then maybe they can also become a real full boy person again. So that's why Mirage really likes hanging around with this man.
Can
It's
we
called
say that he's kind of like a sort of a drifter, and
yeah.
he seems to
Mm-hmm.
have been like really like normally he moves from town to town to town, but something
Mm-hmm.
about the mansion, this haunt, really attracts him, and so he's
Yeah.
kind of like staying in here in the area and kind of like drifting
Mm-hmm.
without maybe even realizing it, coming to the mansion more often, more often, more often,
Yeah.
and making contact with Mirage that way.
Yeah, and also, I mean, if he's a homeless man, then maybe he just crashes in the mansion occasionally. Maybe not all the time, because there's the witch, and I think that will chase him away, or other things even will chase him away. But yeah, he'll come back and hang out and see if he can figure out a song about Mirage or other things too in this place.
Cool.
What's
Um,
your room, David?
I'm the garden, but I can
Oh,
also play other things. But now that you're talking about other things driving him away, I almost am wondering, um, David, would you be interested in taking on the role of one of the teenagers that want to break in and perform a chaotic ritual of courage? Because I feel like that
okay.
is it puts him as someone that's basically set up a tent and everything out in the garden. Like I imagine he has like a tent,
mhm.
some
Yeah.
some stuff he's set up there, and
Yeah.
then these teenagers are breaking in for like a
Oh.
game.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we've got kind of a couple of side characters here. We have these
Mhm.
teenagers and also the drifter.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I guess I'll open up to you, David. Which are you more interested in playing?
The teenagers or the drifter? I'm gonna go with teenager.
Okay.
Both of them sound really good, but that's just gut reaction. We'll do that one.
Okay.
Cool. Oh no, teenagers.
Yeah. Oh, the terror.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
So I do think that like we are opening here then.
mhm.
What I want to say, like just looking through. So Mirage is in the scene. And while
Yeah.
you're playing a teenager, do you think your character is Autumn is there, David?
yeah, sure. We can put Autumn there. I think Autumn likes to spend time in the garden, just outside of the stuffy basement that she feels
Hmm.
oddly tied to. But yeah, the garden is great. So maybe Autumn is out there. I'm gonna use the neutral move to be very still. I'm like I almost kind of look like a lawn ornament, like a one of those concrete statues of a saint or something that people will put in their front garden or something. I'm just like this little doll, still and silent, just watching the garden right now.
Yeah. So I
Oh, I,
imagine
I
this.
think,
Oh,
sorry,
go ahead.
but I think Mirage is kind of mimicking that because they have the neutral move, lose your form, become an object for now. So they basically are the companion piece maybe to Autumn. Um,
Oh, unless you want to
um,
be a guitar.
no, or maybe
Oh.
I do. Maybe I do want to be a guitar for the homeless for my. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I will follow that. I will become a
Because
guitar.
I think he finds the guitar and he starts strumming you, and he's like singing this song that he's trying to work out in his head. What does it feel like to be played Mirage? Because this is a separate question.
No, that's an also I think it feels oddly again there is this connection and that feels like I mean it can touch a being and see into their heart and that's easier actually if I'm close to someone, right? So
Mhm.
I feel like when he's holding me the guitar and playing me the guitar, it feels even though I'm being used, it doesn't feel awful, which is kind of
Hmm.
nice because I chose to be this, right?
Yeah. We hear then the shouting of teen voices. And what are they saying, David?
Um, there's a garden wall, and one of the kids can't get up over it, and the other kids are kind of chiding them and getting impatient with them. Like, come on, hurry, get your leg up. You have to go up. I'm trying to give you a boost. Just push up off my hand. Ah! And they're kind of like struggling over this brick wall into the garden.
I think there's like you feel the misplayed note.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Mirage when he hears the voices.
Yeah, and then it's probably not very calming to him that Mirage also feels like, okay, this is something I need to have a look maybe at, and dissolves basically as the guitar in his hands when you place that jarring note, and whispers maybe something like sorry.
He brushes at his ear like he heard something but doesn't quite believe it.
Yeah, I think Mirage will one waft or whatever get over to look at what the teenagers are doing. Maybe they can do something. So I think they are vaguely aware that teenagers and drifters are probably not a great combination.
Hmm.
And I think the teenagers, Stephen, I see it under the garden. There are some aesthetics about rotting birdhouses occupied by something otherworldly.
Yeah.
Have we determined what that thing
No.
is? We haven't. Okay.
No, yeah, we haven't.
Gotcha. Um, so I think that the kids sort of topple into the garden, and it's so overgrown with weeds and wildflowers that even when they stand up, you can really only kind of see them from like the thigh up. Like the grass is just so tall and overgrown. And they've got a couple of backpacks, and they've all got flashlights that they click on, and you hear them going, "Okay." Okay, the birdhouses are what's haunted, so let's find those. And they start passing their flashlight beams, kind of scanning back and forth across the garden. And then out of character
I
is
think like the
yeah.
flashlight actually goes over the face of our does our character have a name?
Oh, the
Let's give him
drifter.
a name so he's not just because I assume he has a name other than just homeless guy.
I see
He
Ash.
isn't Ash. His
Oh,
name's Ash.
Ash. Okay.
Yes.
I see. We added it here.
Yeah.
Ash.
Yep.
And I think he like raises his hand to shield his eyes and gives a little surprise shout.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And then like a lot of the kids like scream and scatter, but one of the girls like stays kind of courageous and like keeps her flashlight beam on Ash, and she's quivering, but she's kind of steeling herself and trying to stay solid as maybe almost every other kid scatters and breaks and runs away.
Yeah, as all these kids are like scattering and screaming, I think Ash is looking afraid and scared himself. He's not really sure what's going on. He just knows these kids are like causing a commotion. And I think he feels like there's something off now. There's something waking up, maybe. And he is like scared, like shouting himself and glancing about the place. Mirage, how are you dealing with this problem? Because this is one of the unsolvable problems of the garden.
Um,
Are you going to deal with it?
I think I
How would
will
you like to
try.
deal with it?
Yeah, I think I will go over to the girl
So take a
and
token for that as well, because you're
thank
dealing
you.
with a problem of the
Oh,
garden.
I have so many tokens. I could use it better. I could use my ghostly abilities with subtle care here, but I think for now I actually have to. I think the best thing I can do is use my vulnerable move to reach out and whisper a kind truth. And I will reach out to the girl and whisper to her something like that. It's very courageous of you to stay here
Oh.
and 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 face these things. But be careful, please. Not everything here is very nice.
I think that she starts and sort of like is looking around, spinning in a circle, trying to dart the flashlight beam everywhere. And she kind of stammers out, who's there?
I want to ask David, your flashlight, as it flashes around, what hungry does it reveal something hungry and hidden?
Oh boy, that's another garden move, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah,
Um, ooh, okay, so yes, I'm totally gonna claim this, and I think you would get the token, right, Stephen?
I guess, yeah. I think it's like, well, yeah, I'll take the token, sure.
I think that's I mean,
Yeah.
we'll go with it. Um, okay, so something hungry and hidden. Um, maybe. Let me go back to what we have for aesthetics. It says there's a ravenous spirit in the garden wrapped by vines awaiting freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So ravenous equals hungry, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that maybe her flashlight beam just kind of crosses, like we have this kind of first person view in the camera, and we follow the flashlight beam, and it crosses the birdhouses, it crosses ash, and there's this kind of copse of overgrown vines and little fruit trees. And maybe within these vines, you see just this just horror show of a face peering out, smiling from the vines. And it's not really quite human. The grin is a little bit too big. And you see these eyes that are slanted and curved in a way that indicates some kind of otherworldly, maybe even fey. Sort of presence. Does the girl n notice it?
Yeah, it's revealing. I think you notice it.
I scream and drop the flashlight, and you can see that the beam kind of clatters to the ground, and you can't see the face anymore. But I kind of stagger back and brace myself against the wall. Ooh, or how about this? Maybe I stagger back and accidentally kick over on him.
Oh, oh.
Oh, I think Ash does have to shout like, "Get out of here! There are things here that need to be stay hidden. Things that can't, things that can't wake up." And he like I think he does start going towards the statue because it needs to be kept sleeping, I guess. And he starts singing that tune that he always sings around you, Mirage.
I think I need to ensure I don't want him to go to Autumn. That doesn't seem like and then do something with her, right? Because I mean I like him. I also like Autumn. So I think I need to become physical and real for now, which is one of my strong moves, which
Oh
I
boy.
don't do. I have enough. So I will become physical and real. I will be not incredibly well. It's not easy to look at me, even when I am physical and real. I am a person, but a fragmented person, like made up of shards and ice and things. can clearly see that this is was human once, but it is not any longer. Maybe never hasn't for a long time. And I think Mirage will step up close to Autumn and maybe kind of like even protectively, just say hover over and say to Ash, please don't touch her. She's not a threat. The threat is elsewhere.
Hmm. So you're protecting, I'm just clarifying here, you're protecting Autumn
Yeah.
from the spirit or the teen?
Whoever wants to mess with her, actually.
Okay.
I think Ash was going towards her, and I don't
No,
mind
Ash was
Ash.
going towards the spirit.
Oh no! And then I will totally get in his way and say no,
Okay.
don't go there. This is not safe. You can't, please.
Hmm.
It will devour you.
I think he looks at you, and you said that now you appear as like a bunch of broken shards of mirror, you said?
Mhm. Yeah, mirror eyes, something like that.
And he's singing that song, and it becomes clearer and clearer. And instead of being scared away by you, he draws closer.
That can draw
And you can
closer.
feel like there's something, like he sees in you something that he has lost, that is always there at the tip of his memory, but he can never entirely capture again. And
Oh,
you can feel that he wants this from you, something that he's lost himself.
I
As you feel that, I want to ask who loses a precious object to the living? Mirage.
can you repeat that?
Because I'm describing how the living come, demanding their due.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
He
okay.
feels like now,
Mm-hmm. And what was the? Can you please repeat the question though?
who loses a precious object to the living?
Oh, one of us. Okay.
Yeah,
Huh. I mean, I don't have many objects because I'm not really real. So, hmm.
but you have
I
all these parts, these shards. If you were to take
yes,
one, what would that mean to you?
that would probably be a piece of myself again. But I think as he comes closer and I realize this, I might even scatter myself again because this is a lot, and he can take one of these shards. And when he takes that, I think he will recover something that was a memory of mine.
Ooh.
And I think it's a memory. It's a very old memory of going. Oh, what's it called? When you glide, when you have these special ice skating. A memory of going ice skating.
Hmm. What made this memory so special?
It was happy memory connected to ice. I
Hmm.
was pretty young, I think, and it was a good day, going ice skating, coming back, drinking hot chocolate, things like that. Yeah.
And the song becomes clearer and happier
Ooh,
as he keeps singing. How does this loss change our haunt, Mirage?
what does this loss change our haunt? Like the whole thing. I think. yeah, ever since Mirage has come here, it's been colder than it's supposed to be, right? Because
Hmm.
there is this cold emanating from Mirage, and whenever they're in a room, it's kind of getting colder. But that is, it gets warmer, at least a little. It's almost like there is a bit of sunlight there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I almost
Okay.
feel like, is it almost kind of, it's a gloomy sunlight, I almost want to say. It's a
Yeah.
sunlight without any happiness in it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That because it's lacking context. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you gain a token,
Ooh.
and I almost want, I feel like Ash, his song is clearer. There is something cold but happy in it.
Mhm.
But I think, how does Mirage feel now?
Bereft because they have very little of themselves, and now there's something missing.
Hmm.
Yeah, bereft even, and which might like this, even a little angry, mostly at themselves, but a little angry too, because they lost something and something important, and they can't afford that.
Hmm.
Maybe they should go and hurt someone.
Yeah. Do we want to close the scene there then?
Yeah, yeah,
Can I just
totally.
add one quick
Yeah.
Yeah.
detail? Kind of earlier in the scene, I'm going to use one of my neutral moves to break and lose a part of myself. So I'm going to say that
Oh,
whenever the team knocks me over, there's a shot of her like reaching down to like set me back up, and she realizes that my arm is missing now.
Hmm.
Um, um, so maybe she's taken off, or maybe not. Maybe we just close the scene there with her like holding my body in one arm and my arm in her other hand.
there's a box of doll parts in the basement.
Sure is. Um, okay, so we'll close the scene there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
cool. I think we have time for one more. Well, these scenes seem to take about 20-30 minutes, and we have a little bit more than 40 minutes in the session. So should we do maybe one more?
Let's do that.
Um, cool.
I
So.
personally would like now for Mirage to admit to me that they're angry.
I can do that, but I feel I had a lot of screen time. So if you want to do something
Okay.
else, I mean, I don't mind it, but just I don't want to take all the screen time.
Sure. Is there a scene that you wanted for Autumn since you kind of
Hmm. How about this? I was gonna do this after the last session, and with Mirage, now's a good time to do it. Um, we've got this friendship bracelet from the last session.
hmm.
It's got the letters L and A on it, and we know that. I don't know if I'm the A or if there's a different person who's an A, but I used to be friends with at least one of these people, or at least I thought they were my friends. I would maybe like to call a scene where I go to Mirage. I would like to maybe ask you what you can tell me about this, because you've got some moves that I think can do this. You can like listen to the truth of an
Yeah,
object. That's a
I
ghostly
can do
ability
that.
you have.
Yeah, it's true.
Um, so maybe we can sort of frame a scene where I have um taken this bracelet to you, and I'm asking what you see in it, or what you can tell about
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to piece my own memories back together of who this is and how Abigail's connected and blah blah blah. Um, does that sound like a decent setup?
Yeah, if you want to do it, that yeah, I can do that. Again, I think I will accept that this is my session of having too much screen time. It's fine. Um, so we're in the basement then, right?
We could set it
We
in
can
the
be it somewhere
basement.
else. Oh,
Yeah,
sure, we can
it
do it in the basement.
can be anywhere. Let
Okay.
me see. If we did it in the basement, I'm okay with that. The only thing is that I would be guiding the scene and playing a main
Oh,
character in it.
oh, you're meant do you want to guide the scene? Okay, that's fine.
Well, if it takes place in the basement, I think,
Mm.
am I required to guide it if it takes place in the basement? Because that's the room I sort of claimed for
Oh,
myself.
that's it's. Oh, I saw. I'm sorry. I
How
miss.
about it could
I
be the
miss.
study? None of us
Yeah,
own the study
yeah,
right now, and I can be
yeah,
the guide for the scene.
yeah. Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't remember that
Yeah,
the basement
no,
was
it's okay.
yours, David.
The study's a great place for this kind of scene, though,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
involves a
Okay.
lot of like researching and learning and
Yeah.
obtaining truths. I
Mhm.
think there are some moves there that are kind of connected with that. Um, Now, that being said, do we have aesthetics and unsolvable problems picked out for this study?
Yeah, that
We
was
do.
because
Mhm.
the last I can just keep the ones we have there. That was the last
Mhm.
the person that
Business.
left was what had claimed the study.
Mm.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Um, so I think maybe just to kind of frame the scene, I'm propped up in
Let me
kind of
change that old piano that quietly plays itself because I don't think we need
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
multiple
magic
That's
pianos in
true.
one
pianos.
That's
house.
true. That's
Every
true.
every room gets a piano.
I mean, Battle of the
One
Pianos.
one in the attic, one in the basement.
Well, yeah, no, we can totally change that. That makes sense.
What are you going to change the aesthetic to, do you think?
Um, oh, what about an ancient librarian who reads out broken prophecies?
Ooh,
Cool.
cool.
So, I will say that I am propped up in like a big overstuffed chair. Um, it's a worn out chair. It's got holes in it, and there's upholstery and stuff kind of poking out of it. And it's this big study chair. So I'm kind of like tilted so far back into it that it's almost kind of hard for me to get up from it. Um, and maybe my arm is kind of sitting on a an end table next to the chair. Um, and next to the um ooh, how about this? No, the friendship bracelet is kind of like just placed in my lap. Um, how are you showing up in the scene, Mirage?
I think I am close by. You can feel that in the cold and also in the light and the weird reflections from somewhere and the whisper. Um, where Mirage is apologizing for not doing anything about that team who ran you over.
Are one of you writing in your diary as the scene opens?
I am not. I
I can. I wonder what it would look like for me to write in a diary as a doll, though. I mean, it would have to be a very small diary, so maybe it's like a very tiny little like a pocket address book or a phone like a phone number book. Like those little tiny books that people carry around that are about yay big, and you have just enough space on each line to like write down like a phone number or something like that. Um, and yeah, I can kind of I mean, that's a thing to do in a study is write. So yeah, maybe I have that sitting on my lap with the friendship bracelet next to it. I'm all set up here.
Mhm.
And I'm writing in it. I'm not gonna I don't know what I'm writing in it, but maybe if someone peeks or asks or looks at it, then I can reveal it then.
Oh,
Okay. Go ahead and take a token, David.
Cool.
let me look at your real quick. Okay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think Mirage is like, do you think I should get a diary myself?
Um, I think so. I mean, living as long as we do, I imagine it can be easy to lose track of your memories. So I've decided to try to protect against it by recording everything I can in here, and I kind of pat the diary with my one arm.
Um, I want, how would I write in a diary though? And, manipulating physical things is not very easy for me.
Hmm.
So, hmm.
Well, if there's anything you'd like me to write down, I can do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should ask the witch actually, because I was angry today and I think she might like that. I still kind of am.
Were you two fighting earlier?
The witch
I,
and I, yeah. I mean, yes, I think so. Maybe a little.
I heard something coming from the basement earlier. It sounded scary.
Yeah, yes, something went wrong there. The witch kind of, she wants me to run around and hurt people, and I don't want that. And I think she's clearly hurting, but things that hurting others will help her with that, and I don't know if that's true. And she didn't take too kindly to that opinion.
Hmm. I wonder if there's a way to help her.
Mm.
She's so angry, like you said. Maybe there's some way that we can, I don't know, help fix whatever it is.
I think she thinks she has the solution to fix whatever it is, but I don't think it'll work. Maybe. I mean, what do I know?
You
And,
want to help her? A whispery voice says through the room.
Yes, and I'm looking for who's speaking.
You look and see up at that painting. And I'll ask this of Autumn because we've asked a lot of Mirage's history
Mhm.
so far. What would be a good question here? Um, Let me just see your playbooks. Uh, how have you like yeah, that's the question I'll ask. How have you been hurt by the ghost trapped in the rotting painting before?
hmm. Um, the ghost trapped in the painting is trapped there in the same way that I'm trapped in my doll body. So we're both trapped ghosts in a way. And I think that the ghost believes that they are in the painting because they deserve to be stuck there, and so that must mean it's the same for me. So the ghost told me one time that it's really my fault that I'm stuck in this doll's body,
Hmm.
and that I'd best get used to it because this is my just desserts, for what I am or what I did, and that was very hurtful.
Hmm. The painting, the face in it is covered in a layer of mold and moss. The oil is like dripped and smeared, but there's still a glint of a grin in it. I can help you with the witch.
How?
I look at Mirage because I don't know if I should trust this
Mm,
guy.
yeah, Mirage is not too sure themselves. How?
You think that, hmm, you think that kindness and healing is what we deserve. And that's exactly why you will never get through to the witch. She does not want kindness. She wants to be treated as she deserves. Why do you think she calls herself the witch?
You mean she wants to be treated as a powerful
I say
her?
that she wants to burn.
I think that really kind of hits me like a weight, and I kind of really have to sit with it for a minute. She wants to burn, but that's that would destroy a witch, wouldn't it?
It didn't destroy her the first time. And there's a distorted chuckling that comes from the mirror. And believe me, I was there.
What happened? What and I guess this is where I can ask, can you tell me about one of your memories and ask what they know?
Hmm. I also think that both of you are dealing with a problem of the study now, if you
Yeah.
both want to mark a token for that.
Ooh, I'm gonna be flush with tokens at the end of this. But yeah, that works.
I mean, that's the point in Ray's
Mm,
games of
yeah.
this version. He wants you to be flush with tokens, so you like invest them into the tracks.
Mm.
It's
Oh,
fun.
yeah, right, right. It's true.
Um,
Oh yeah, this is definitely dealing with a
Mm,
problem.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I asked the menacing ghost what they remember
Mm,
because they know something.
or they're making up something.
That's true. Could be lying.
Well, but he has to answer honestly
Oh,
if you're asking the question.
okay.
I mean, you might not believe that he's answering
Mm,
honestly, but fictionally as players, we know that he
yes.
is, or
Okay.
at least in his perception of events.
Mm,
I was the one that burnt her the first time, and I remember the char of her skin and the curse she laid on me.
She trapped you here?
Who do you think trapped you here, Autumn? There's only one source of curses in this house, and it's that witch.
huh.
Oh boy. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think that was it. That was the comment. Huh.
Oh,
That was like, I don't know
So the
this.
memory was true. There's like
Yeah.
the other stuff I will say I do not know if it's true or not yet.
yeah. That's a thinker.
Mhm. Why would she trap us though? She does not seem to enjoy our company, I think. I don't know. I don't know.
That's true though. That's true. She really doesn't seem to. And I'm saying that kind of hopefully, like I really hope she hates us. That's the way she wouldn't have a motivation. Um and so I kind of shift over with my one free arm and I'm kind of like patting the chair next to me and gesturing in your direction. Um yes, yes, she must hate us. It can't be true.
Mm.
I don't think she even hates us. I think she doesn't care about us, I guess. Mostly she wants her revenge, right? Would were we the ones who helped this guy? Did we? Did we do that? I don't think so.
She trapped
Well,
you here like she trapped me here because you deserve it.
So
I am. There is. Describe an object tied to one of our pasts when we were alive. A.
maybe a snow globe.
Hmm?
A snow globe.
that would go well with
Oh,
your ice and cold kind of motifs.
Mhm. Well, that could be connected to Mirage's past if you don't have anything,
I think
David.
it's a snow globe.
Mhm.
He points at that curio cabinet full of twisted trophies and disturbing mementos. And there is a globe, cracked and stained with a splash of blood across it.
Oh, oh my. Is that mine? I sort of try to poke it. I think that the thing you
The
see is
blood
that,
is.
oh, oh, huh.
And I'll note here, this is free to you to answer or not.
Mhm.
Autumn, how is this object related to your past too?
Ooh, and if I answer, I get a token.
Yep.
Oh boy. Um, hmm, maybe. I wonder if the snow globe inside of it, like it contains a depiction of like people from my past or something from my past, like that, like a house that I used to live in, or maybe it has like a little um family in it. And there's like my parents and me are in there or something like that. I'm open to suggestions though. Hmm.
Maybe it was a toy that you once had that kind of
Yeah.
reminds you of the doll that you are stuck in now.
Right, it like belonged to me once upon a time.
Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it belonged to me and it has something of sentimental value to me depicted inside of it. Um, so um yeah, maybe inside the snow globe it's got someone like in choir dress like singing.
Mm.
Um and maybe it's something that I can vaguely remember like I used to have it. Like it used to be a possession of mine. I wonder how it would have gotten in here though. What do people think?
I think we can leave it at least a little vague, right? We're not, I don't think we're supposed to be very concrete with everything. I
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah, it's
that's
still
fine.
early in the game. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but having that singer in there or that scene from a choir that might actually tell us something about who you were, your interest.
Yeah.
And
Maybe. I picked that
Do you
because
say you
my
don't know how it got there?
yeah, I think I'll recognize it and I'll say, oh my gosh, that used to belong to my dad, I think, but why would that be here? I don't even remember seeing that here before.
There is a chuckle. Pretend it. Oh, you played the role of the child so well. But I see you for what you are. I see the monster you have hiding in that little doll body of yours. And I know what you did.
I think that is not a very friendly painting. Yeah, obviously. I think, oh, I think I will spend two, oh, oh well, who needs memories? I will spend two tokens to use my ghostly ability with subtle clarity and touch a being, which is the painting is, and see into their heart.
Hmm.
I want to know what drives that. Is that, yeah, yep. So I will go over
Hmm.
and touch it and see what exactly are you? Why are you doing this? What hurt you?
Hmm. I think that what you see when you touch it, because it does say it's an unsolvable problem. This isn't going to
Mm,
solve
yeah,
Hmm.
anything.
no. I just
Yeah.
wanna know how much how much influence over us we should give this thing, basically.
I think that you can feel the rot in it when you reach out and touch it. It feels like a shiver, like a squirming, rotting thing. Its heart feels like a squirming, rotting thing under your touch. And
Hmm.
it's a rot that wants to spread.
I withdraw my hand really quickly, like I've touched something gross. I will say, no, you're just, and I turn to on. That's just something rotting. It's not, that's a bad memory that has somehow gained words. So,
Oh dear, but it's been so long since I felt a caress, it says sarcastically.
and I will ignore it and say to I think it doesn't even know what a caress actually is.
But but there must be some reason why that snow globe is there. And I don't know whether or not that is your blood or whether or not I did that.
And I don't know that. maybe we can figure that out, but I think that is not going to help us. I don't think I I just I don't even want to know. Actually, I just want to. I don't know what I want, but I don't know that I really want to know all that I was. I just want to be someone, maybe someone else that I was, you know? And don't.
Should we pause the scene there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry
Yeah.
I didn't get to look at your bracelet.
We'll get to it. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good end for the scene.
Sorry, I forgot all about the bracelet.
No, it's okay. Um, I'm just adding to my wishes here. Find out how the snow globe in the study uh got there. Yeah, find out how the snow globe from my childhood got into the study. I have some ideas, but I'll think about it.
Cool. Do we want
Um,
to move on to the end of game flow
Mhm.
thing here?
yep,
Cool.
yep. So to start with, does anybody want to trade tokens before we end our session? Um, I'm happy to pass some tokens to anybody who wants them. Just so you guys know, any tokens that I don't give to you guys, I'm just gonna cash in, um, into our memories, tab.
Mhm.
Does anybody want some tokens?
I would like to spend some tokens actually
We'll get to
on.
that in a second. It says
Oh,
like
okay.
first is like we
Okay.
decide if we want to give any to anyone else.
Okay, I guess I'm good if no one is like really chomping at the bit to
No.
start the next session with some extra tokens.
I'm giving a
Mm.
token to Mirage.
Oh, thank you.
Because I think as much as like I'm trying to like teach Mirage, like there's Mirage probably picks up that there is like an almost obsession with them on my part.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I'm giving you a token.
Thank you. I think Mirage is both scared of you and fascinated. So because of the heat.
But yeah, are we spending t now we can spend tokens to recover
Mm.
memories or create new ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna cash all seven of mine in towards the regaining a memory track.
I think
So
I'll keep one. I'll spend one on creating new memories, and I spend one on the regaining memories track. Can do that, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and we
Cool.
describe so for you for David, what we asked then describe a moment of closeness with at least one other main character, Autumn.
Um, I wonder if maybe there's a moment where Mirage, you're helping me to get my arm back on,
Yeah.
so I can at least start the next session with my arm seemingly back in good shape.
Cool.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm good.
And Mirage, I guess you actually narrate two because you
Oh,
narrate
I
both a moment of
didn't mean
closeness.
to do that. I'm sorry. I
That's
will.
okay.
I will. A moment of closeness. Yeah, I think I'll just ping pong that back at Autumn. Moment of closeness. The sewing back of the arm. Yeah. That
Cool.
I think maybe I can get her to hum or sing that song that Ash was playing back at me if I'm being really nice about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Actually, I
And
like that. Like maybe we can have a scene where I'm kind of like teaching you how to sing the general melody of the song that Ash was singing, so now you can replicate that the next time you're in a scene with Ash, you can kind of sing it back.
oh, cool. Yeah, I like that. I love that. And then I have to describe a moment of happiness with at least one other character. Huh. Huh. I mean, we can just draw out that scene we just described because that is a moment of happiness, me learning how to sing the parts of this song, right? Because I struggle to describe a moment of memory, happiness with the witch because I don't know what would make the witch happy, probably burning someone or something. We can burn the painting, but we can't solve the problems.
Yeah. I will mark 1 to creating new memories.
Mhm.
I think I will say that as night falls on the house, the rooms of the house fill with a kind of shadows that are less menacing and more like a blanket of night. And that there is a kind of soft whispering that can allow one, if not fall into a true sleep since we're ghosts, allow us to pretend that we're asleep. I think that's the moment of happiness.
Hmm. I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think that does that wrap it up? We go to stars and
Yep.
wishes now?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Um I can go first because I've been kind of tracking wishes and making notes to myself as we went. I will just say to Sabine, I love the characterization of Mirage because I kind of feel like we're friends now.
Mhm.
There's a place that I can go to if I ever want comfort and support, and that place is Mirage.
Oh,
So it's good to have that as sort of a um just a source of support. And Steven, I haven't gotten. I've done a couple of like little bits and pieces of interaction with the witch, but the real star is how darn well you guide scenes and use room moves. The way
yeah.
you characterized the that painting was so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I'm gonna have to try to leech off your energy when I do the basement in the future,
Mhm.
because that was good and it was creepy and good times. As far as wishes go, I've got a whole list of them at the bottom of my column in the character keeper. I think the really big ones that I'm focused on, I really want to know who L and A are.
Mhm.
Because A could be me, it could be Abigail. Um, L or A could be the teenager who was in the scene with Ash. But I really want to dig in and see what my relationship with those two people is, just so I have something to kind of work toward and resolve as part of a character arc by the end of the game. I think that's the really big one, in addition to just the others in the in my column. But yeah, that's it for me.
I can go next. Stars all around. This was really fun. I love being back in a haunted house with all the ghosts. I really liked Autumn singing the song to great effect. The Younger song that was kind of fun, especially the witch's reaction to it. See, I love the scene I had with the witch where she was like, "No, you have to be angry." I really like that energy, and I really can't wait to see these two. I really can't wait to see the witch in the scene again. I also adored all the guided scenes you guys did. I also loved the side characters, the teenage girl, the poor thing. They weren't as horrible as I thought they might be, which was good actually. I mean, we don't need horrible teenagers anyway. Or we'll see. Maybe they come back and are horrible. So yeah. So yeah, wishes wise, I need to tell the witch about getting angry. I also would like to meet Ash again and see where that song goes. And if I can get my memory back, that would be interesting. So yeah, it's me.
Yeah, for myself, I always enjoy playing alongside you, Sabine, because you always bring such an understated like tone to your characters. So it's always very entertaining to like play the like no, I'm just gonna burn everything alongside them. Um
I haven't met my
uh
Skinner.
what was that?
You haven't met my Skinner of Apocalypse King the World, so it's fine. I can. I'm yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
fair. That's fair because like I'm just reminding like Mirage makes
Yeah.
me think so much because you brought
Yeah.
up the Fae of that one like
Mm,
I'm gonna play a trickster, but I'm actually a really serious trickster that doesn't like playing tricks on people, unlike
mm,
all of my brothers.
yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Um no, I really enjoyed like I thought that brought a great chemistry to that scene. I really liked as well David, the touches you brought to the scenes in the basement. I liked how as well like I kind of brought in the painting, not really sure where it would go, and then you threw out what how the painting hurt you, and I thought that was just great, and
Mm.
I really leaned into that. So that kind of pushed the scene in that direction that I found really enjoyable. Um in terms of wishes, I mean I certainly I feel like there still is like a lot of question here of like what exactly is the witch's deal? Like I think it's still for me an open question about what actually is the witchiness of the witch. Are they just an angry spirit or is there like some actual something supernatural there in their history? Um I definitely am also interested like I'm interested in maybe kind of trying to build the witch into some of the supporting character relationships as well. Like that would definitely be interesting. Yes, the witch's name.
Well, that's one thing that I think you can use as a lure for the faceless is
Yeah,
the true name.
yeah.
I just thought of something. I saw in your notes, Sabine, that you mentioned being taken by the Snow Queen. I would love to have like a memory of that or a flashback about what that was like.
Okay. Can oblige. I think I can oblige that.
It's funny, I was playing with another game where somebody was also playing a former spy of the Snow Queen of the Snow Court.
Okay. That there's no original ideas. I mean, I sort of stole it from Hans Christian Andersen anyway. So
Yeah.
that was no big thing.
Yeah, I just was gonna say I just think it's a really cool idea.
Um,
Okay. Well, I think we're all set then. And
yeah.
we're kind of right at top of the hour, so I will end the recording here.